Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be ranking and talking about all the ice characters in the game, as there's quite a few and they all serve kind of a similar purpose, but they are all very different characters. It'd really help if you guys subscribe and leave a comment down below what your favorite ice character is. Alright, let's get into it. So the first one I figured we'd talk about is Ice P. Ice P is probably the most iconic one. He has a slower reload, but he does have a lot of ammo, and he can freeze in 3 hits. He could also freeze off his splash damage, which is really good. Being able to freeze off like splash and from like just range in general by hitting only 3 shots, and this guy's pretty accurate, is really good. He also of course has peashooter abilities, which is just amazing. Allows him to get height, allows him to play aggressive, and he could just slowly chip away at you, and then even for his direct damage it's quite strong. So yeah, very good character. Definitely serves the purpose very well as an ice character. Let's move on to a zombie next. I figured we could talk about Arctic Trooper next. This is probably the best set to run on him, but I guess you can run health if you want, but I think the regular performance set is the best at ammo, ice, and reload. So he does have quite a bit of ammo at 35, and then of course he has a very accurate gun. At range he doesn't do much damage, but he does have that freeze effect like I said. So he is still a good character from range, but he doesn't do as much damage as Reg Soldier. He definitely is good at freezing. Also, look at this tree's hitbox and how stupid it is. You can't shoot through it. Anyway, he's a very good character though. Similar to Ice P, he has very good mobility with Rocket Leap, and his abilities complement him well. He's very good at countering the higher health plants like Iron Citron, Torchwood, even some of the Chompers. He's just good at doing that. From a range he could just chip away and freeze you, which is very good. Similar to Arctic Trooper is Frozen Citron, and this character is ridiculous. Out of any character in the game, he capitalizes off the freeze effect the most, by far. That's just because, of course, he's hit scan, so he's just going to be able to freeze you instantly. So his rate of fire is crazy. He could shoot for a really long time. He's mobile, and then on top of all of that, you have your stun. So you could freeze, keep shooting them, and if they're still alive, for example a mech, then you could stun them and then shoot them again. And then you also have ball to run away. You can roll out on them, do damage, and it's just like this character is the best tank counter, best all-star counter, best superhero counter, best mech counter, easily, by far, out of all the plants. This character is ridiculous and very anti-meta, one of the most anti-meta characters in the entire game. One thing I always found weird is all the new variants don't have any ice characters, which I always thought was lame, but we did get one new ice zombie in Garden Warfare 2 with AC Parry. With him, this is kind of an interesting character. With him, I'm just going to recommend running this, but you can switch out the ammo for health if you'd like. Definitely don't use the sonic proximity mines, I was just showing those for a video. So AC Parry is an interesting one. His accuracy is strange because it kind of goes down. He doesn't really shoot in a straight line. The character would definitely benefit from shooting in a straight line, but he just shoots in a weird angle. It's odd. But his damage overall is not very good. He struggles a lot, and then he actually takes quite a lot of time to freeze. While he can freeze and he is good at doing it, it takes a while. You always go for the directs with this character, by the way. It's just his damage isn't good. If he did more damage, he would be an amazing character. He's still great. It's just his damage isn't very good, at all. It's bad. But he does have the thing that Frozen Citron has with the stun lock, so he could freeze you, and then he could stun you, and then he could go back to shooting you. So he can deal with you, but it's you don't always have the stun, so you don't have the damage to make up for that. And then abilities, obviously you have Jackhammer, which is really good to get over people to evade situations. to give yourself more general movement. Very, very good ability to have. And then Bolt Blaster is like kind of what carries this character. It's a good ability. Bolt Blaster helps a lot of the lower engineers out, just to do a lot of damage from range and have that good accuracy. Alright, our last stun lock character is Frost Rose. So Frost Rose is interesting because she doesn't play like the other roses, and I'll show why, but I actually don't use homing upgrade on her. You can, but I don't. And the reason I don't is because this character thrives at the charge shots. The charge shots have a really good projectile speed, so they just fly across the map and they do 50 damage. That's with the splash too. Like the splash does absurd damage. That was a mid charge, and then there's the full charge, which was 50. You could just wait for the sound cue, or you could look at her wand when it kind of explodes. See, look right here, and it pops, and then it pops again for a full charge. So you could just use that as the cue. The second it pops, you could shoot out the mid charge. But the mid charges are good too. Like you could apply pressure like that, or you could just go for the full charge. It's really up to you. It's personal preference, but the character can be played at range, which is really, really good. Being able to get height with this character is just very hard for zombies to deal with. And not needing that homing upgrade means you could run like speed or something, which is nice because roses are really fast. But yeah, very customizable with upgrades, very customizable in general, just playstyle wise. The uncharged shots are okay, but the highlight of the show is definitely the charged shots is what makes this character absurdly good. But this is the final ice character that has access to a stun, like I said, so you can, freeze, stun, and then you have 2 stuns, so you can go to fire as well. So yeah, pretty cool. And of course, Enigma is a good defensive ability. Alright, moving on to the next ice character, we have one more ice zombie, and that is the Goalie Star. So the Goalie Star kind of has a similar problem to AC Parry, as his damage output just isn't very good. But the character does have some tricks up his sleeve. For example, he can fire for an absurd amount of time, like really, really long. He's still going. Like that is a long time to be firing for. And I think that's without the overheat upgrade. It is. So with the overheat upgrade, you could shoot for 8 entire seconds. But I don't really need that, so I could run speed or health, but I always recommend running the freeze. But being able to run speed is nice because you could kind of get in and out quicker. But since the character's damage isn't very good, it just kind of is rough. Just because you could say you could freeze and then use an ability, but like most all-stars, you could just shoot them and then like kill them, or you could just use an ability on its own and kill them. Like you don't really need to freeze them. Kind of seems a little extra. So the character doesn't really benefit from the ice effect that much, but the being able to fire for a long time is really nice. And then of course the freeze effect does come into use in certain matchups. Of course, like Torchwood, it could be useful. There's certain characters it could be useful, higher health characters. Alright, next ice character we got is Yeti Chomper, and this is a unique character. One of the things I like about this character is that you could like ADS and then you could goop. You can't do that with any of the other chompers. But other than that, his primary, it's like a support kind of character. Like if you play for high kills, this is a character that's difficult to get high kills with, but if you just kind of play them, like, splash away at zombies, hit the zombies directly, then I could see you enjoying him. But if you want to farm kills, this is a very difficult one to do it with. Now the goop does remove the ice effect, which sucks, so he can't like double stun like the other ones. Of course you can goop, hit them, but like if you freeze and then goop, it'll remove the ice effect. It's very odd. So yeah, he has that's just a design flaw with the character. I think a coding issue, but it is a real issue that the character has, unfortunately. But of course he does have goop, and then he does have range, and he can swallow as well, which is good. But he's not really an ice character. he doesn't really use the freeze too much. Alright, final ice character is the Ice Cactus. And Ice Cactus is, in my opinion, a very good character that utilizes the freeze very well. Can freeze in like a couple headshots. It's absurd. Like, boom, boom, boom. And you're frozen. Like, it's crazy. You could just beam someone through the air and they freeze, and then you could kill them, or like they're stuck. Really good against certain characters. Like, you could just hit a soldier a couple times and you're just frozen. But like, again, with the other cacti, you could just shoot them normally and they'll die. But against higher health characters, it's like you can't run away. And then the character, if you notice, has an absurd amount of ammo at 18. But the character, after a while, does have some accuracy issues, just because you're shooting for a long time. So if you're shooting more gently and slower, it won't happen as much. But as you could see, you could customize the upgrades a lot as well. Like, you don't need to run ammo upgrade, because even without it, Ice Cactus still has around like 15 ammo, I believe. Yeah, 15 ammo, which is really good. So you could run reload. You don't even have to. You could run like this if you want. It's just very customizable. I always like mentioning that. Character is pretty decent though. Uses the ice effect quite well. And I believe that is every ice character. No ice. They really were lacking with the ice zombies. There's only like 3 of them, which is lame. I'd love if there was like an ice deadbeard. That'd be really cool. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. They're all decent at using the ice effect, but the one that utilizes it the most is Ice Citron, Frozen Citron. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.